I would say that I've been in the IT department of Govt of Rajasthan for the last 6 months, and I happen to have a background in computer science. I did a degree in computer science, and then I worked in Silicon Valley as a systems programmer for a couple of years, and then I shifted to become a systems administrator for about 3 years, about a year and a half for a startup company in Silicon Valley, and then about a year and a half at IIT Bombay's computer center. So I have done some very hardcore Windows operating system programming, and then I used to manage servers and networks and IP telephony's first implementation. And then we built a campus-wide network for IIT Bombay on fiber optic with gigabit switches. This was all circa year. I mean, my last IT job, I quit on 31st March 2003. So then after a gap of 16 years, I am back in the field of IT. In the meanwhile, in various departments where I worked in Govt of Rajasthan, I saw a lot of requirement for e-governance solutions. And in many places, I did architect many of those solutions. And many of those solutions are in place even today, they are being used. I would say first such solution that I did was in Ajmer, UIT Ajmer, which is an urban development authority. We built a ERP for that place. One of the vendors did it. I was the architect of that, and then it got implemented there and many other urban development authorities in the state of Punjab and many other places. And finally, that vendor developed that product into what we can call as a government ERP. And those modules are still being sold to various government departments in many places. So some basic principles which I used in that thing was, so I would just share my experience. Government's Department of Local Self-Government, which handles the municipalities, the secretary there, he took me on as an IT expert on one of the RFPs that he was doing, even though I was not really an IT expert, quote unquote, because in government you are an expert only if you are from that domain. And I am a generalist domain guy now. So when I saw the RFP, I saw that there were very detailed specs of what servers needed to be bought. And I didn't know what to say. I said, like, why do you need such detailed specs of servers? What is it that we really wish to achieve? We want to ensure that citizens get services in municipalities. And how will server speccing impact that? I mean, so what I realized was that the end-to-end thought process is still missing from this sphere of e-governance. So that end-to-end thought process needs to be there, and then also there is a certain thought process which says paper is difficult to replace. So people said instead of paperless, let's go towards less paper. But in today's world, with the level of connectivity which we have, with the level of mobile connectivity and mobile devices, I think less paper's time has gone. And in terms of connectivity, we are almost at par with any other country in the world. I mean, we are a developed nation as far as mobile network connectivity goes. So there is really, and with the IT Act in place and the Aadhaar-based e-sign in place, there really is no excuse now for using paper. Essentially, what paper does is it introduces uncertainty in the process. See, when you have a paperless process, every step of the process becomes trackable. So I am talking from the perspective of a head of the department who wants to know whether my processes are happening I have 5,000 workforce, I have thousands of locations across Rajasthan. Are the citizens getting the services the way we promise them? So to know that in a hierarchical system, multi-step process, where the file is going from A to B to C to D to E to F until finally the outcome comes. I need to know where is it. So whenever I introduce paper, the trackability disappears. So if I want to give time-bound service delivery, it becomes important and imperative that I move to a completely paperless system. So I would say one of the cornerstones of e-governance today should be paperless systems. So Government of India has put in place things like DigiLocker. So now, you can show a soft copy of your driving license and it is now legally valid. So all the required legal changes are being made to make a paperless world possible. But when we design our e-governance solutions, we need to ensure that it is paperless. So when you talk of paperless, what it also says is that all data capture must be at source. This is one principle which I followed in that first software ERP we designed in 2007, that there should be no secondary data entry. It is not an MIS system. So data capture at source meaning jisko karna hai wohi karega. So this is another thing. So if the clerk at the window, if he does not do the data entry, so और उसको हम और एक next level पे लेके जाएंगे. So in many of the things, lawyers are engaged to work with government. Many of the paperwork is actually made by lawyers. For example, if you want to get your land registered, lawyers and deed writers write those documents. So are lawyers and deed writers, do they have access to the system? Can they log into the system and prepare their original document on the system? So when they do that, that is when the process becomes streamlined. Otherwise, they will make it in their own format, and then you will scan it and you will do a data entry from that. The moment you do that, there will be errors in data entry, which will lead to so much pain for the end user for years on end. है ना, मेरे नाम का स्पेलिंग गलत डेटा एंटर कर दिया, मर गए उसके बाद, मतलब वो कहीं ना कहीं कोई पकड़ लेगा उसको, फिर बोलेगा ये अम्बरीश कुमार में ना ये स्पेलिंग तो सही नहीं है, आर यू द सेम गाय, आपके फादर नेम गलत लिख देंगे. सो मेनी ऑफ अस हैव सफर्ड दीज थिंग्स. पासपोर्ट बनवाने गए, पासपोर्ट बन के आया, उसके अंदर कुछ तो मदर्स नेम, फादर नेम, डेट ऑफ बर्थ कुछ तो गलत लिख दिया. सो डेटा एंट्री एट सोर्स. सो द गाय हु नोज द ऑथेंटिक इंफॉर्मेशन जिसके पास है, अगर वो डेटा एंट्री करेगा तो बिल्कुल सही आएगा. एक बार सिस्टम में आ गया, सिस्टम तो उसको डिस्टॉर्ट नहीं करने वाला है. सो दिस इज अ की इंग्रेडिएंट. सो दीज आर अ फ्यू की थिंग्स विच नीड टू बी पुट इन प्लेस फॉर एनी ई गवर्नेंस एप्लीकेशन. है ना. देन द अदर एस्पेक्ट इज आउटकम ऑफ द प्रोसेस. है ना. तो वन एंड इज डेटा एंट्री, अदर एंड इज द आउटकम. जो भी आपको चाहिए, पासपोर्ट चाहिए या आपको कोई लेटर चाहिए, कोई परमिशन चाहिए, परमिट चाहिए, वॉट एवर यू नीड, ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस चाहिए, दैट लास्ट थिंग शुड ऑल्सो हैपन फ्रॉम द सिस्टम. सो नाउ यू कॉट बोथ द एंड्स. सो नाउ दैट मीन्स द एंड टू एंड ऑटोमेशन इज पॉसिबल. उसके बीच के जितने भी स्टेप्स हैं उसको एक फ्लो चार्ट में बनाना, it's a huge thing in today's world. Okay, I mean, when I learned programming in class 7 in my school, our teacher taught us कि पहले flow chart बनाओ फिर इसका कोड लिखना. That was on BBC Micro with 32 kilobytes of RAM in basic language. तो पहले उसने फ्लो चार्ट हमें सिखाया कि फ्लो चार्ट में ये अलग अलग सिम्बल्स होते हैं, इनका ये मतलब होता है, ऐसे फ्लो चार्ट बनता है. दैट इज़ व्हेन आई गॉट हुक्ड ऑन टू कंप्यूटर्स. मुझे लगा ये बड़ी एक्साइटिंग चीज़ है, ज़बरदस्त चीज़ है. तो वो फ्लो चार्टिंग अभी भी नहीं मिल रही है. एज कमिश्नर ऑफ आईटी आई एम आस्किंग फॉर फ्लो चार्ट्स, जस्ट बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट लेवल फ्लो चार्ट्स, नॉट रियली कोड लेवल फ्लो चार्ट्स. वो भी नहीं है ना. एंड व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज एन इशू अक्रॉस गवर्नमेंट. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट जस्ट कि हम ऐसे हैं, मतलब वी आर एक्चुअली मच बेटर ऑफ देन most other IT departments. We have in fact the largest IT workforce in any government organization anywhere in India. We have 5,000 plus employees. Even NIC doesn't have 5,000 employees across the country. So we are actually the single largest government IT department anywhere in India. And we have many fantastic things we have achieved. Out of, we have an EPDS solution where people are getting rations through a POS device across Rajasthan in every single ration shop. So we have trackability. I know that 98% of people who approached a ration shop got their ration. I can know it by ration shop, I can know it by district, I can know it by, that कि उनको wheat mila, kerosene mila, sugar mila, I am able to track every single thing out of that. I have 1 crore transactions happening on that system every month. Similarly, old age pension that we give to people, we have 65 lakh people on our system who get their old age pension straight by bank transfer to their bank accounts. We no longer send them money orders. I think 95% plus goes through bank transfer. A few of them still are opting for money order. Then we did a very simple thing कि जो pensioners हैं, old age pensioners, every year we need to know that they are still living. तो उसके लिए एक verification process था. We were the first to make it Aadhaar based process where they can go to our kiosks and they can do Aadhaar e-KYC. Aadhaar e-KYC हो गया मतलब बंदा जिंदा है. That means his pension can continue. Earlier it used to be a manual process where they had to go to somebody, and so that used to be an issue. So we have many fantastic achievements, but what I'm trying to say is that the issue is of design. How do you design an e-governance system? So another thing that I learned about design is essentially it is not the job of IT company, it is not the job of the IT department. Automation is the job of the original department which wants its processes automated. So they need to own what needs to happen. They need to decide कि मेरा ये वाला process मुझे end-to-end paperless automated चाहिए. When they take that decision, then the job of IT companies comes into place, then the job of IT department comes into picture, and we should tell them the right things. That is important. A lot of vendors come to me and say कि सर हम क्या करें, आपके RFP में लिखा था तो हमने आपको ये दे दिया, है ना. तो RFP किसने बनाया था? RFP आप लोगों से कहीं ना कहीं चर्चा में बना है. Either it is the supplier vendor or it is one of the big 4 consulting people जिन्होंने बैठ के RFP बनवाया है. Today I was discussing with one of the big desktop manufacturers. They visited me and I was telling him कि भैया I need to supply appropriately sized desktops to my employees. 2 minutes more? Okay, I can stop. So his thing was, साहब आपके यहाँ से तो फिक्स्ड RFP आता है, हमें तो यही चाहिए. i7 6 कोर प्रोसेसर चाहिए डेस्कटॉप में, और उसके ऊपर हम माइक्रोसॉफ्ट वर्ड में टाइपिंग करेंगे और प्रिंट निकालेंगे, है ना. I said even a Core 2 Duo or Pentium dual core will do that job. That desktop only needs to be 20,000 rupees. It doesn't have to be 65,000 rupees. And so that simple thing, laptop लेना है तो laptop में what is important? The weight of the laptop is important or the processor is important? मतलब which will give me higher value? Will more RAM and solid state give me more value or processor will give me more value? More RAM and solid state drive, right? So now these simple things have been understood in industry, and they've been, if I'm a Dell employee, all this is already in place. If I'm an HP employee, all this is already in place. If I'm a Wipro employee, everything is in place. But if I'm a government employee, this is not in place. So I think if these basic things can be put in place, if this thought process is there, see, you don't need to be a technology expert to know this, है ना. But इसके ऊपर I am yet to see a session which says this should be the design of e-governance, है ना. I haven't seen that. Generally, people will talk of blockchain. They will talk about artificial intelligence. I'm like, boss, blockchain और artificial intelligence से कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला है तुमको, है ना. What we need is desktop support. Desktop में antivirus डल रहा है कि नहीं डल रहा है ना. तो उससे वैल्यू मिलेगा एंड वाले बंदे को. आपका सॉफ्टवेयर एप्लीकेशन, इज इट डिजास्टर रेजिस्टेंट, है ना. Are your servers scalable? Is somebody monitoring the application? Will I get to know whether my application went down by a phone call from the user, or will I know it because I got an alert on my phone, right? there is a concept of a blackout of application and brownout. तो ब्राउन कब हो रहा है? मतलब आधार का जो रिस्पॉन्स टाइम है, सो कितने परसेंट आधार रिक्वेस्ट फुलफिल हो रहे हैं? 80% फुलफिल हो रहे हैं, 50% हो रहे हैं, 99.9 हो रहे हैं कि 100% हो रहे हैं? That is going to decide what my end user is going to get. I think this discussion needs to be there. And these are not technical things. They are what I would call as common sense. I mean, if you have been in this domain, you understand that this is just common sense. And that is what needs to be discussed, and that knowledge needs to be taken to decision makers if we want this whole e-governance to be transformed. Otherwise, we'll be going on be talking कि भाई ये ले लो, ये वाला network खरीद लो, ये वाले fiber लगा लो, आप कुछ भी लगाते रहिए. We see this in this country. People say more things change, more they are the same. है ना? आप कितना भी लगा लिए, end user को कुछ मिल रहा है क्या? और ऐसा नहीं है कि हमारे कंट्री में end to end thought process नहीं है. टेलीकॉम ने दिखाया है कि है, एविएशन ने दिखाया है कि है, एयरपोर्ट्स ने दिखाया है कि है. डेफिनेटली दोज एरियाज हैव बिकम ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड. टुडे वी हैव वर्ल्ड क्लास एविएशन, वर्ल्ड क्लास टेलीकॉम, वर्ल्ड क्लास बैंकिंग. 3 sectors have clearly shown that end-to-end thought processes are possible. Thank you.